Kendo Podcast episode 142. In this episode, I want to talk about Kendo one rank above.
Kendo Podcast by Hiro Mafuji from KendoGuide.com. Thank you for listening. This podcast is about Japanese martial arts Kendo for Kendo lovers and supported by Kendo enthusiasts through Patreon.com. Thank you for your support, guys. Please visit KendoGuide.com for more Kendo information and how to support KendoGuide.com.
Welcome to Kendo Podcast episode 142. Now this is a recorded podcast as usual, but I don't know, maybe you're listening to this podcast around the end of the year or the beginning of the new year. So Happy New Year! And new year, new Kendo. So I don't know what you're aiming this year. But, and then the topic was kind of inspired by Hayashi Kunio Sensei's article from Kendo Jidai Magazine. So I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna put the quote or link to that magazine, or what page it was. Somewhere in the description area or somewhere around this post. Now, Kendo one rank above. That's what that's the title of his article, and of course he talks about the basics, and we all know about the basics is very important. So let me talk about something we can improve really quickly, which is kiai. Now, the late starters cannot shout a lot for some reason. Well, another reason maybe. A lot of people have hard time to shout because I know probably this is why. Because we are trained not to shout in the public place, right? In the public places, we as a social animal, we shouldn't be shouting loud, right? So little kids can shout no problems, but school kids, they all of a sudden they cannot shout. I have 3 kids, new kids. They're about 11 years old, 10 years old, 11 years old, 13, 14, maybe 15, 16. They're 3 kids, right? They cannot shout. I mean, they couldn't shout. Now they can. They couldn't shout at all. Of course, they are loud at home because that's where they can be. They're allowed to be loud. Maybe not, but kids don't listen to their parents, so they can be very loud. But at the dojo, they weren't loud. They're allowed to be, loud, but they couldn't shout at all. So they have to have this restriction. I shouldn't shout in the public places. You have to remove that, and now they can shout. Okay, so probably that's why. And we are not used to shout. Okay, so that's why adults especially cannot shout a lot. So you have to do that first. Now, a lot of people think shouting doesn't lead me to focusing more. Maybe so. Think about breathing exercise. Okay, breathing exercise. You breathe in through your nose, like mokuso. Okay, meditation, whatever you name it. Okay, deep breath. You use this method in anger management, I'm sure. Breathe in through your nose. Okay, hold it, push the air down to the stomach, and breathe out through your mouth. Long, nice and long. Let's say few seconds in, inhale the air through your nose in a few seconds, and then push it down to the lower abdominals. Okay, and then breathe out through your mouth. Hold it 2 seconds, out through your mouth, maybe 10-15 seconds longer. Okay, so that is very important to remember. Now, these numbers, few seconds, 2 seconds, 10 or 15 seconds, it depends on people you learn from, they say different numbers. That's fine. The important thing is breathing quickly through your nose, okay, and then use your lower ab and push the air down. Okay, you don't want to hold the air in your chest. That doesn't do any good. So lower and then breathe out through your mouth. Okay, learn that, and then we do the same thing in Kendo. Breathing through your nose. Okay, and then man, nice and long. Okay, and use your lower ab and breathing quickly. All right, so that's what basically we are using meditation breathing in Kendo while we are moving. Okay, so by just definition, you can focus more. Anyway, and then when you get excited, as you know, your breathing becomes very fast, right? That's why you need to consciously learn how to breathe like that. So adults, if you're an adult, maybe you are, because if you're listening to this, learn how to breathe first, how to meditate. Okay, there's the mokuso breathing, whatever you name it. All right, and then use that in Kendo, and then be loud. If you exhale, be loud. Exhale. Next thing you want to do is breathe in quickly. Okay, that's how human body works. So out of breath means you gotta take the air really quickly. So that's how you do it, just like I did. Okay, so make sure you learn that. Now, do you have to be loud? Yes. When I hear those high grade holders, sensei, especially famous people, they are loud. Okay, of course they have quality as well, but they are loud. They have quantity and quality. So what we can do, what we can copy, volume. We can be as loud as we can. And then make sure you don't breathe through your chest. Again, it doesn't do any good. So breathe through your stomach. Use your abs. Now, we say put the air. Okay, once you inhale the air, you push it down to seika tanden. Well, seika tanden is the Asian way of thinking that there's this place that you can store energy, which is about 3 fingers lower than your belly button. So, and then sometime a while ago, I was searching center of gravity, those photos. And some photos, when I looked at them, I found out that the center of gravity, when you're standing, it's very, very close to where Seika Tanden is. All right, so if you kind of think about Seika Tanden, okay, Seika Tanden, so it's energy lake, let's say that, for easier understanding. So energy lake should be around the same as center of gravity. Okay, so it's lower than your belly button. Okay, so just think, where is center of gravity? Or maybe around there. Okay, so imagine that, and then push the air down towards there. All right. Well, anyway, so to start with, there are a lot of kiai. Okay, some sensei go, oh, like Sumi sensei, very low, like that. And some sensei is high pitch, like that. So you gotta try a lot. But Sumi sensei, I think a lot of people have their own theories, and I am sure they started with very loud. All right. So whatever you do, all right, unless you know about yourself very well, which a lot of people don't. So just start with very loud. Yeah. And then a lot of people they think they're loud, but they're not loud. They're using they close their airstream, like throat. they think they're being loud, but because they close their airstream, air is not coming out and they're not loud. They're just choking themselves. So make sure, and then I advised I gave an advice to one of my students: learn how to sing. They don't close their vocal cord, right? Vocal cord. So they don't. If they close airstream, they can't sing. So you have to make sure you open up your throat and then right. So you have to learn a lot of things because you think you're doing it right, but of course you're not used to it. So you have to learn how to do it. I think learn how to sing is not a bad idea. So if you don't know how to sing, better to do it. And if you can sing and you can't shout, maybe you're really focusing on your throat. All right. And a lot of people are afraid of losing their voice, but it's a very good idea to lose your voice first. And then you really have to use your ab to shout, because you can't use your throat anymore, right? Because you've been using your throat over and over. That's why your throat gives up. I can't do it anymore. So you can't, you lose voice, right? So you use your stomach. But, depends on what you do. You don't want to lose your voice. Like, if you're a professor, if you lose your voice, you can't give a lecture. So if you're, professors, they have vacations. So just practice that while you're on vacation, So a lot of people don't really know, in my opinion, don't know how to shout. And if you know how to shout, I recommend to increase the quality. And what I mean by that is, in Kendo, the last thing is, our aim is to strike our opponent, right? So the physical or visual achievement is you go, you have to be focused. The key that can increase your focus level is good quality. All right. And then if your opponent feels that pressure from your ki, that's better, right? And then go, and if your focus level comes up. And when you get closer, you don't want to shout at all. When you breathe, they're going to strike you. That's what they're waiting for. When you breathe, inhale, you're vulnerable. So you don't want to do that in striking distance. So before you get into your striking distance, you have to shout a lot. And then, all right, and then the shout, so your focus level increases. And then when you go like that, right, you have to explode your energy there. So you have to have this focus, high level focus, and then when you strike, you have to explode. So that's the energy from inside you. So that's the ki. Okay, so make sure you have that's how you increase your ki quality, because it's visible. How did you feel about your strike? Is it explosive, or was it like off the timing? So Kiken Taichi is very important. First, you have to know if you have good Kiken Taichi, your strike will be amazing. Okay, you're higher, and then that's the first thing you do, and then you put. It's like good car. Okay, by doing Kiken Taichi, you have this, machine. Very good machine, and ki is fuel, right? Petrol, gasoline. So you put high quality gasoline, you can go explode, right? You can go fast. So, and then your physical training is making your body into super sport car or something, or Jeep, whatever you're aiming at, right? So, but you have to you have to turn your body into a high quality machine. and then you put the high quality petrol, even better, right? So you have to focus on Kentaichi, of course, and then you have to increase your physical level, physical abilities, and then increase energy level, which is kia level. So when how do you measure your kia? Loudness, focus level. You can tell how you can focus, and then when you strike and after you strike, make sure after you strike you keep the focus level. Okay, of course it will go down, but you have to go, man. In the voice level, you can find out how voice will lead your body, performance. Go, man, and then you slow down. Man, and you can go faster. It's very interesting, So it depends on your kia level, your performance change. Kia as in loudness in this example. So don't go, yeah, man, like that, right? You can tell. You can tell by listening, right? That's not a good strike. So change your kia. Louder, sharper, longer. Okay? And then your quality, kia quality, energy quality level will increase. So your kendo will change immediately. Okay, that's why I've been always, I think if you have listened to this podcast, I probably several times I mentioned ki. Yeah, if ki gets better, your kendo gets better. So please do that, and don't go short ki if you're lower grade holder. Longer ki will train your ki level. Okay, so if you want to increase ki level, ki ability or ki power or ki strength, go for longer first, and then make it shorter, and then longer and shorter, and then you see what happens. Right? Anyway, so of course, if you're older, it's harder to do, but that's why we have to train. So ki is very easy to train and easy to achieve where you're aiming at. But when you become higher and higher, it gets a little more difficult again. But if you're like 3dan, 4dan, just work on it and then see what happens. Okay? Again, Happy New Year and then great New Year. And yeah, let's improve together in the year 2019 as well. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next podcast.
I would like to send special thanks to patrons for their constant support through patreons.com/Kendo For Life.